Well, I think that the market will do it, that more and more revisionist histories will come out. They'll sell in bigger and bigger quantities. And authors will say to themselves, well, why bother with peer review? You know, just get ahead and find a publisher and publish. And so I think the whole historical market will get smaller and smaller as far as professionals are concerned. And people like myself, amateurs, will have a bigger and bigger field. So I think the market will sort it all out for us.
That's exciting.
No, and I completely concur with that. And by the way, my experience, of course, they'll argue that, the amateur is not schooled and it can be misled and so on. When I was reconstructing the temperature graphs from the amateurs of the fur traders of the Hudson Bay Company, I found that their details and their accuracy was greater, and you could measure this statistically, than the modern official government record of temperature recording, because there's nobody more dedicated than the amateur to do things. They're doing it. Yeah, they're doing it for the sheer excitement of the knowledge and information. And so I agree with Gavin. I think that's what's got to happen is just go ahead and just ignore the criticisms. In fact, we're almost at the point where the more somebody is attacked, and the more nasty the attack, that has almost become a measure of how close to the truth of the cover-up we're getting.
I entirely agree with that. Absolutely.
Yeah. It's like I was giving a talk a little while ago, and a friend introduced me, and he said, Tim has always taken flak, but right now the flak is really heavy.
You know you're near the target then.
Yeah, well, exactly. The old wartime thing, if you're getting heavy flak, you're over the target. And so I think that's almost become a measure, and can almost be a guideline. And by the way, it does intrigue people, as Gavin has implied with once he was attacked. That piqued people's interest and said, well, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, actually, Gavin is attacked a lot. There was someone that came in, Jeff Wade, and started to comment on the interview I did with Gavin a couple of months ago, and then I looked on Google, and this man spends his life's energy trying to prove Gavin wrong. And so there's always going to be that. I mean, that's the risk you take when you move into discovery and you are moved by discovery and bringing in new knowledge and uplifting ancient knowledge that may have been buried or lost or just hasn't been tended to yet.
Well, and of course, Gavin might have the experience, as Galileo did, of being forgiven by the church 390 years later.
Well, I'm conceited, but not that much.
Yes, and of course that it also speaks to an issue here, Gavin. I think that this specialization, and particularly in science and the environmental issues, where it's become the new religion, that you defend it with the vehemence that this is a religious belief.
Yes, I think that's quite true.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have been speaking with Gavin Menzies, the author of 1421 and 1434, and Dr. Tim Ball, a climatologist, an environmentalist, and a teacher and writer from Canada who's joined us today for a discussion and an examination of peer review. And gentlemen, I really appreciate you being with us. If there's any last closing statements you'd like to say, please feel free to say it. Let's start with you, Gavin Menzies.
Well, thank you very much, Kim, for inviting me, and Tim for teaching me so much. I've learned a lot this evening. I'm very grateful to be on your show.
Thank you very much. And Tim Ball?
Well, again, I concur with Gavin, and this program and the Internet that provides the access to it is a perfect example of how we can disseminate information in new ways that can only be helpful to understanding the world and moving ahead.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening to It's Rainmaking Time in our examination and discussion of peer review with Gavin Menzies and Dr. Tim Ball. Thank you very much, gentlemen.
Thank you very much. Good night.